Hey there guys, how's it going? And today I'm very excited to bring you a little overview of the new Hauppauge HD PVR. Now I didn't actually even know about these until I went to Eurogamer. Hauppauge had a stand there and they had one of these on show and I was like, damn, that looks nice. How can I get one of those? So they've kindly sent me one for review to check out. So I'm going to go over its features, what's different about it, what I like about it, compare it to the old one a little bit I suppose. Right next to it here, if I zoom out a little bit, I've got the old HD PVR. Now this thing is a beast. It's lasted me 5 years. I've had this thing 5 years, still works. And it's never really let me down. The software is a little bit buggy, but we've got new software now with this new PVR as well. But every YouTube video you've ever seen from me has been recorded through this PVR, so it's got a bit of nostalgia with that thing, so it'd be a bit of a shame to stop using it. I'm thinking about maybe giving it away, like, or I don't know, putting it somewhere. I can't just throw it away, right? It's got so much sentimental value. Anyway, so that one obviously is just component input. But first of all, I want to talk about the looks. I think this looks great. Now, as you can see here, I've got an all black desk. I don't know why, just everything, all my technology seems to be black. And I think it just goes really well. It's going to be lit up green when you use it. This button on the top here is to do a quick record for if the software is going and you don't have to click the button on there, you just go bam, start recording, thank you very much. So it looks great in my opinion. Obviously a lot smaller than the old one, which is better in my opinion. It's a bit small, this is a bit chunky really. So let's go over what you get in the box actually. You get your standard thing with the software on, the CDs you'd expect. Installation guide, for those of you who don't know how to install one of these things, I can't imagine it's very difficult. You've got one of these, I suppose it's component out converter that then hooks up to the component cables, I would have thought, because it's one of the small inputs. I'll show you in a second the inputs on the back of this, inputs and outputs. And what I was quite impressed with is they supply you with 2 HDMI cables in the box. I wouldn't have thought they did that. Some people, or some machines don't even have one. Some machines only give you 1 cable, but they gave you 2 HDMI cables, so I'm quite impressed with that. And then obviously the USB, which will connect the thing to your computer. So let's have a little look at the back. Well, I suppose you've got the front there, which is very nice, quite a sleek design. But at the back, the input's the important stuff, so we'll just focus this in a bit. There you go, that's about right. So we've got the AC adapter on the left there, as you'd expect, power, USB connects it to your computer, AV for your audio video cable, and HDMI in and out. Now one thing that they said to me, Hauppauge actually, is that this thing is going to be able to live stream without any software. You're going to be able to live stream with this. I don't know how it's going to work yet, or if it's out yet, but maybe that's going to be something they do. It's got HD in and out there, so you can even record PC gameplay. I'll have to test it out and let you know how it goes. Yeah, but something I like about this, compared to other capture devices that are HDMI, is the fact that it does have the AV for if you want. Because one of the problems I found, let me just focus that back in, one of the problems I found when you have a HDMI only capture card is that things like Netflix and Blu-ray movies can't be watched through HDMI with one of these devices. So if for instance I think, you know what, component's actually quite nice and I can manage that for the quality, I'm not bothered about having HDMI, even though I'm sure it'll be quite nice, I can actually go for AV and I won't have to constantly switch over the cables or get a switcher whenever I decide to watch Sky Go or Netflix or something like that. So that's it from the outside. Let's get the software open, do a little bit of recording, test it out and see how it fares. Okay, so I installed the drivers and the software and now I've got it running here. Just wanted to show you how it looks with the setup. Got the HD PVR there under the monitor, as you can see. It's pretty subtle, quite unsuspecting, just sitting there, but looks nice, I like to think. So now you can see it all set up. Let's go and have a look at the software. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the new software that you get with the PVR, as well as the capture module that's a little bit different this time. So first of all, this is the video editing software. Pretty simple, drag and drop kind of software by the looks of it. You can add text and you can add effects to your video. For some of you who are a bit intimidated by the more complicated software, you might want to try this out. And here you've got a produce section where you can obviously create a file or actually upload straight to YouTube if you'd like to do that. So this is pretty good for you guys who maybe don't have any other video editing software, and it does pretty much everything that you could need it to do if you're going to do something basic. But if you're going to get make more complicated videos, more complicated editing, you'll probably want to use another program. But that's this software. So let's take a look at the capture module as well.
Okay, so this is the capture module. One of the first things you might notice is here in the corner that I'm actually able to record in 1080p. That'll be for both HDMI and component, which is nice because the old PVR didn't do that, so it's the first improvement. But this looks pretty similar to the old software. For those of you who know the old software, it's pretty simple, and that's the way I like it, to be honest. You just literally down the bottom here, press capture, and that's it. You don't really have to change any settings, but if you're into your video and technology, you might want to play about with the settings here a little bit. So this bit up the top here will just allow you to go between HDMI and component if you want to change that. Device settings, there's not really too much to change here. A few brightness settings and saturation, but I wouldn't change that, to be honest. But the format settings, if you're into your technology and you know a bit about formats and things, you might want to go in here and play around a little bit because it has a lot more settings than the old HD PVR did. You can change different resolutions, you can increase the audio bitrate, you can change the encoders, so a lot more resolutions and things for those of you who know what you're doing. But the one in particular that most people want to use is this one, which will adjust your bitrate, which is basically the quality. But to be honest, anything above, I mean, this is 14 million, I think, 14 million. Anything above 6 million, which is 6 megabytes per second, is going to be good quality. But if you've got enough room on your hard drive and you want to try and get the best quality you possibly can, you'll probably want to whack this one up all the way up to 14 megabytes. I don't even upload at 14 megabytes on YouTube, so it's a bit overkill. But I record it the best I can anyway, just in case I fancy trying to push the quality on YouTube a little bit. So here on the left-hand side, we have the different formats that you can record in. We've got M2 TS, TS, and MP4. And I was actually told by the guys at Hauppauge that you probably want to record in MP4 if you're going to be using Sony Vegas. So I'm going to be recording in MP4. Like I said, here's the capture thing down the bottom. You can select where you want to save it to. And a couple of new things down here in the bottom right-hand corner. We have a volume, which you can go up and down with, or you can mute it as well. Which wasn't on this before, which is useful. You can go full screen here if you'd like, and also you can capture an image if you want to capture an image. So that's enough showing you the software. Let's get some gameplay. Let's test out the quality and see what we can get out of this.
Go on!
Time's almost up. Quick draw. Care package inbound. 30 seconds remaining. Combo freeze.